So our robot is very well rounded. We can shoot up to all of the goals from a lot of places on the field. We can go into a high torque mode because we have a transmission, so that we can defend ourselves against robots trying to push us around.
Right.
And then a lot of the systems that we use are pneumatics based. We have pneumatics lifters, we have pneumatics plungers, we have a pneumatic transmission. So it's a pretty interesting robot. And we can also climb up using pneumatics, climb up to the bottom of the pyramid.
Okay. And how is it done with the climbing in your?
Very accurate. The competition we went to a couple weeks ago, every single time we climbed in like 2 seconds. Here, the first time we ran, their pyramids are slightly higher, so we couldn't get our hooks over. So we just increased our spacing on our hooks.
Okay.
So now we can grab one every time.
All right. And you mentioned pneumatics. Why is that better, or why is that advantageous for this?
Because it's a very integrated, easy system to use and work with. So otherwise we'd have little tiny motors doing every single thing, and then it gets so complicated. It's very easy. All you got to do, put on a little switch for the pneumatic, and just plug it in however you need it.
Okay.
And if, say, something breaks, you can just switch it out really much more easier than if you had a whole bunch of motors.
Air power is also lighter because instead of putting in a motor, you just connect the tubes to the ports and go.
Okay. What would you guys say that you've learned through this process? And what's the biggest thing that you're getting out of it? Are you going to turn into robotics engineers? Are you going to be designing drones next year? Or?
I think that one of the things that we've definitely learned is to measure twice, cut once. Because we have done that with wires, with the pneumatic tubing, everything. We would at some point or another, either last season or this season, we have measured something incorrectly and then had to cut new thing, which is just wasteful. So that's definitely something that we work on. That way we can maximize our resources.
Okay. All right. Hey, is there anything you can tell us about what does it take to start one of these teams? How do you go about starting one?
It's a lot of effort and a lot of phone calls. I think the biggest thing is you need to have a few core students and some mentors behind you that will just push and push to make sure that you can reach the goal you want to attain, whether you want to get that next sponsorship or you want to get that group of students pulled in. It's a lot of support.
Okay.
The biggest thing.
And had you been on the previous team that you mentioned? You had, so you were the person who wanted to keep it alive, I guess, or one of the people.
Work together.
Right.
We got some sponsors and mentors pulled together and ran with it.